So now it's time to start. In today's presentation, I will be trying something new. I like to innovate, and especially for this, which is education, which is something that I really enjoy and like, all right? In today, instead of to do a Power BI, how I've been doing in the past, I will do a website, which is similar to the one that you see before on my Excel and BI website. You see that feeling and look from the colors. Now it's been transferring into this. The intention of this is to create a portal from where you can access to all this material. This portal is not ready yet, but as soon as it's completed, I will share it with you, and then you will be able to see past. For example, when you have a chance to see a past event in YouTube, at the same time, you will be able to navigate through this website, okay? But this page is still not available, but for now, I will be using it to present you how the topic that we'll be discussing today, okay? As I mentioned today, the topic is all about stop manual data cleaning in Power BI, okay? I don't know if you've been working in Power BI for some time, for a long time, or you just jump from Excel into Power BI, you import your first sheet, and then you start to play around with some graphics. If that is the case, that is perfect, because this will be something really beneficial for you. And this is the people that I'm trying to help a lot as well. I do a lot of advanced Power BIs, but it feels here is from where I can empower more people from jump from Excel into Power BI, because finally, if you work in an office, Excel is something that you use on daily basis. It's not something that is designed for data analysts actually, but it's something that everyone uses. But Power BI can give you the power to transmit a better storytelling. So this is why I encourage everyone to jump into Power BI. Okay. So today's discussion, it will be stop manual data cleaning in Power BI. Cleaning data inside visuals creates confusion and slow reports. This is happening quite often when you have not data well organized. It gets quite hard to see what is inside of your Power BI. Okay, you will learn how to properly use Power Query. Of course, the basic from Power Query, what is Power Query, how it does, and how it works. But this is what we'll be discussing today. And we'll be building a cleaner, faster dashboard that actually scales. Of course, Power BI, everyone who uses Power BI, one of the things that I always mention is needs to be designed to be scalable, which means that you started with a small spreadsheet, the Power BI looks nice, but next month you receive more data, and this Power BI dashboard, it needs to be able to keep ingesting data without breaking, and this is something important for you to keep adding this information aside. Okay, so instead of to do just a one-off Power BI, you should be able to also to connect. Sorry, just 1 second. I was having my phone not in silent. Sorry, just got a call. Sorry, I was saying that if you if you are planning to have a Power BI running for a while, I would suggest you to jump into Power Query, because this kind of tool inside of Power BI will support you to keep growing your Power BI. Okay, I will show you this in a moment, so don't worry if you don't get understand it yet. Okay, so here this presentation and all of the webinars are built for curious professional. This is not designed for experts. If you are a data engineer that you want to learn super advanced topics, probably this webinar is not for you. However, if you're a professional like me, who I used to be, I am actually an electronic engineer, and you would like to do better your work that you do on a daily basis, and this is for you, and this is the tools that I will give to you. I haven't went to the uni to study data. I studied data mostly for my own. I did some courses in data analytics in machine learning and AI in the past, but those create the foundation for me to start all this work. But all of the things that are changing all the time is something that you need to be up to date, and this is a lot of encouragement for you to keep learning and be supporting in your growing path, because When I do those webinars, every time there is something new, either in Power BI, either in SQL or something else. So that is why it's important for you to stay up to date. As I just mentioned, I'm Ramon from Excel and BI. I have this company for nearly 2 years, and I'm helping people and business to do more with their data. Okay. So if you have any question about, just feel free to flick me an email, contact@excelandbi.com, or to my personal one, which is ramon@excelandbi.com. Okay. Before to keep going, I just want to see if some people can do the thumbs up or any reaction to see if you're listening me properly and you can see my screen properly. Great, that's good. Thank you very much. Okay, and that way I'm sure that you are listening me, and also will make this bit bigger, okay? So you can see it better. So let's start with the problematic and the wrong place that from we clean data sometimes, okay? So we have a spreadsheet, we import it into Power BI, and then we see that there are some certain data that is not correctly showing there. The first thing that we do, we go to the Excel, we change it a bit, we clean it, and then we import it back to Excel, all right? Sorry, we import it back to Power BI. But the problem of doing this consecutive is like you get more data next month, and then you need to go the whole process again in Power BI, sorry, in Excel to transform the data and ingest it back to Power BI. But to avoid that is something called Power Query, and something that we'll be discussing today as well. So of course, it will be the main topic for today. But this exercise, for example, if you have a CRM or a ERP, and then you download those reports, and then you do manual transformations in Excel, and then you put in Power BI, it becomes really time consuming. And actually, Power Query is the tool that can help you don't do that anymore. And then every time that you get new data, you just click refresh, and the data will be automatically transformed. The other thing that you need to avoid, I don't know if you hear about DAX. DAX is the way how Power BI create calculations and measures inside of the design view. DAX is designed to create calculations. However, even though that you can do data transformation, is not really well designed for that. So I would recommend you to leave the transformation aside in DAX. Also, when you use calculated columns aside, I will show you what is all of this, but this is the kind of thing that we could avoid. And also, the other thing that it happened when you have a table that is too big and there are too much data that you don't need, that the reports start to get slow. And this is the kind of things that we like to avoid. And the other thing that when you hand it over this project to someone else, because you don't want to be the only owner from Power BI that you create, because you just want to go on annual leave, so you don't want to be worried all the time about that. So having this kind of tool of cleaning data and organize it, it will help you to provide better handover to your colleagues, okay? So this is the importance why we need to have a clean data in Power BI. Because if you do everything by your own, happy days, you spend quite a bit of time in cleaning and doing many things. However, when you hand it over to someone else, the pain increases even more. So I recommend you to work consciously on the work that you do in that way. When you hand it over, the other person, instead of remind you yourself not in the best way, it will have really good memories from you. Okay. So why Power Query is the answer? It helped to create faster dashboard. And how I do it is do transformation that just run once at the load time, which means that when we connect a Power BI into a spreadsheet, and when we put it into the Power BI workspace, all the transformations, it happened when the gestion happened. For example, you can set the schedule in Power BI to refresh once a day, and that it will happen at 6 a.m. For example, when nobody's in the office. All those transformations from changing those columns names, those columns content, the data type, and all that sort of stuff, it will happen just once a day. So when you review the Power BI during the day, that doesn't longer needs to be calculated. However, in DAX, when you have those measures in the view, those happen every time that you go through it. And so, for example, if you have really complex tax calculations, you will see a performance issue in your dashboard, and that is mainly because every time that you are in the front end of the Power BI, and then you want to see different calculations, this start to get calculated, and it will happen to everyone. So that is the importance to handle hard transformations into Power Query, because all the transformation happen just in the gestion phase and not in the experience phase. So that is what the common recommendation to do it here. Clean data models. If you are not much familiar with data models, is in the way how we connect tables across. So this can help you also to make more cleaner data models. As I just mentioned before, we can repeat it and automate it. We don't want to go to that spreadsheet every time that we want to import it and change just one comma or something. That is why it's important to use those kind of technologies. Help also for documentation. The reason why helpful with documentation is because you can put a lot of comments in your M code. I will show you in a bit what is M code. And as scalable, because more spreadsheets that are coming up, or more SQL tables that are growing in the time, your transformation will help supporting them. And this Power Query works with all the sources that Power BI works with, which is Excel, SQL, SharePoint, API, CSV, and so on. So if you have any of those kind of sources, Power Query, it will work for all of them. You can save, of course, times, and this is what we want to see from everyone. We can save, instead of to get refresh errors, we can see clean data actualization. Can make the report 3 times faster, because if you compare when you do this in DAX in comparison with Power Query, you can perform time analysis, and then you can see how much is the time that your Power BI is refreshing. Okay. 100% repeatable data refresh, which just means that in this point that we can repeat this over and over again. And 0 manual steps are set up, so it means that the dashboard can refresh by itself every day, and we don't need to worry about. Okay. Essentials, change of data types. This is something really important. Do you see that sometimes you have the numbers showing as a text in Excel, and then you want to transform into the column into numbers? This can easily happen in Power Query. Remove columns. You can also do this easy. Filter by certain rows. Easy to do in Power Query. So this percentage means that how many times you will be using. And to be fair, this is closely real, because it's that those are the kind of things that I do all the time. Rename, reorder columns, remove columns, change data types, parse data correctly, of course, and merge queries. This merge queries from when you have 2 Excel files and then you want to have it just in one table. This is when you use the merge queries. And then when you are a bit more advanced and you have more practice, then you can start to unpivot, which means to, instead of to have the dates in rows like May, June, July, so on, you can have them in a column. This is the way when we use pivot or unpivot, and then we works really well with that. In custom columns, for example, you would like to create that this column plus this column is equal to this column. I will show you this as well in the example, and help you to append tables, which means append in comparison with merge. Merge is mixed together, blended together. However, append is to put one at the top and one at the bottom, and they should have exactly the same columns to be able to be appended. Okay. Those are the essentials from Power Query. Power Query is a tool inside of Power BI, as just mentioned before. Okay. What we'll be covering today: Power Query interface tour. I will show you where you can find it. Data types, column cleanup, some filterings. I will show you merge queries and custom column and M code basics. And we'll have sort of like a live data exercise. Okay. This is where we'll be jumping today now. But before to jump into that, I would like to remind you, this is 9:20, we're pretty good on time. I would like to remind you that in the way how we grow those webinars is with reviews. So if you can please provide us your review, this will help us to do a better job in the future. So now I will be sharing with you the QR code that you can scan in to provide us feedback. And if it's better feedback, even better. And if it's not that good, please send me a message and I will be happy to answer what are the things that we could do better. Okay. So this is the screen from where you can take the snapshot from the QR code, and then you can share your feedback. This is go directly into Google, and then you can put 1 to 5 stars. I will say just, yeah, from 5 stars. So this is, as I just mentioned, if you like what you're seeing, this has helped me to keep evaluating the company, and also it helped me to keep doing this. Okay. This is, I think this is the only thing that I will ask for you today during this session. All right. So let's go back into the experience. But before to jump into the experience, I would like to open the microphones. And let me see, we'll go to open the microphones. And I would like to hear if anybody has any questions, any comments so far. Have you seen before Power Query? Your microphones are enabled if you would like to share any question or comment. All right, if you don't have any comments, we can continue. So let me go back to share my screen. All right, let's jump back. And now I will go into my computer from where I have this Power BI. I will share you my screen. I will share you my whole screen. Let me know if you can't see it. Okay. All right. This is what we have. This is a simple Power BI, which is connected to a SQL database. Okay. It can be also into an Excel sheet, but however, here I think that I have a sample, this one. And we'll open this, instead of to do it with a SQL database, to don't confuse you if you haven't seen a SQL database before, I would like to just connect into an Excel sheet. I will just go to this Excel sheet. Okay. Okay, I will use this sales data. Okay. Cool. I'll close this up. And instead of to go to the, use the, those tables that I have here, I will connect to this Power Excel sheet that I have here. So here we have Power BI. As you can see, you normally, this is just think this is a brand new Power BI. You never opened it before. You just download it and you are here. Okay. The first thing that we do, we normally go to here, get data, and get it from Excel workbook. Okay. I have here in download, I have something called Adventure Work Cells, which is a typical spreadsheet provided from you from Microsoft. You can download this Adventure Work from the Microsoft website. But this is just to show you some data. And also, if you're looking for data for testing, you could go to something called Kaggle. And in Kaggle, you can get all the, let me show you that. In here, this is from where I download this spreadsheet, Kaggle data sources. Yeah, if you want to get data sources for you for learning, you can go to this website and it has heaps of data set for you to play around. There are some of them, they are in Parquet file, there are other than in CSV files. There are 276,000 files in CSV. So plenty of real data for you to play around. And so this is what, if you want to have any CSV to play with, this is a really great place to start, okay? So let's go to this data, and I would like to import this table. I will import them all right? Just I want to, if you can notice that this data, they have a different icon between those ones and these ones. These ones between these ones are different because this one is the complete sheet, and this is the table that is created inside of the spreadsheet, all right? Because if you go to and the other thing that you cannot have the Excel open if you want to import the data, the Excel must be closed if you would like to import the data in Power BI, okay? Yeah, for example, this is the whole sheet, and this is just the table. Same here. This is the whole sheet. You see that I'm even considering up until P, but this is just the table in green. It's just a table. And this is what we can have here in the representation in Power BI. You see this different blue line table in the top. That means, and this is what we're looking for. So I will load this and click transform. Transform, it will send me directly into Power Query, okay? Yep. And here we are. So I will click just refresh. And this is something that I was from the other connection that I did, this table and this table. So I won't consider them. And I just click retry. All right. So let's start really small. Okay. For example, we have this table called sales territory. Okay. Here is this is Power Query. And as you can see, looks slightly different than Power BI. This is where we're not even talking about creating a chart, creating a pie chart or something like that. We're just talking about data transformation, okay? This is what is the webinar today, data transformation, okay? So for example, I just realized that in this table, this is one of the tables that I just import. And I realized that Germany, it has a spelling error, okay? And what I could do to change that, okay? And I would like to do that every time when it refresh, this name, it gets updated. For example, let's say, of course, Germany is spelling correctly here, but I just want to put as an example. Instead of that, I would like to replace value, from Germany to, I would say just Germany in Spanish, okay? Alemania, okay? This is the name of Germany in Spanish, okay? So the thing that I will do, I just did. It will replace, every time that in this column reads the value Germany, it will replace it with this new word, okay? So this transformation, I don't know if you noticed, but I will clean this up. In here, on the right panel, we have something called transformation steps. And each of the things that you do here, it goes here. So for example, if I like, you see that I just delete that one. And this type also get changed automatically, something that automatically did Power BI. I will clean this up as well. But for example, here, it hasn't recognized any of this data. And here you will say that this is a whole number, data type. And here it create a new step. And it says that according to this transformation, in this column, transform it into this data type, which is a numeric data type. But if you are not want to work much on coding, this is the way how you can do it. Everything, you just go here. This is actually text, okay? This is text as well, and this is text, okay? So we have done multiple changes, and all the changes getting recorded here. But if you want to roll back, you just delete this step. If you would like to see those steps more in something that you can read, is you go here to Advanced Editor, the button up here, and then here you can see everything that we are doing. This programming language is called M code, which is different to DAX And the way how it happened is it does declaration and does transformations step by step. The first step that it did, it read the spreadsheet that is in my downloads folder, then go to that sheet and just take the table called sales territory. All right. Those are the selections that we did just before in the other step when we will select which tables we would like it to read. Okay. So then we did the data transformation here, and we just did that. But actually, as I just mentioned, that here you can document. You can use this kind of commands, slash star, star slash, and between here you can put some comments. For example, this step to the data type transformation. Okay, transformation, and here you know actually what each step do. Okay, so we can click yes, and nothing happen. All right, and all right, we just did that, and now I would like to create a new column that the thing that it does, it will join all these three fields together, combine it will concatenate them, same as we do in Excel. But I would like to have them because in case that, for example, in table, I would like to display this always those three fields together, separated by comma. Okay, so to do that, I can just select the three columns, to right click, and I can say merge columns, separator by comma. New column name, I will call it territory. Okay, done. And now all the three columns are put in this way. However, as you can see, unfortunately, it deleted the other one, but don't worry because it doesn't delete anything. Actually, it doesn't even touch your Excel file. The only thing that this program is doing is taking the data and transform it, but it's not touching your Excel. So don't worry to do anything wrong here because there's no way that you can delete something from your data source. But if you can see that is put everything by comma, but I want to keep having those three columns. So I will delete this step because I didn't like it what it did. And instead, I will go here to transform, add a new column, and then we'll add a custom column in here. And here I can call it sales territory. Okay. And here we do the inquiry. And the thing that I would like to do, I would like to concatenate. And doesn't exist. And let's see if I can do it like this. Okay. You see, I just used the ampersand symbol, and let's see if it works. And yeah, I have all together, which I can't read at all because it's not separated by column. So to go back, I don't need to delete the whole step. I just can go here into Advanced Editor. And here I can see what I did. So instead of that, I will add another ampersand, and I will add a comma and a space. And if you don't understand what I'm doing, please let me know and I can explain you in more detail, okay? All right. The thing that I did now is that in this, to show this elements, I will show the region, comma, the country, comma, space, and the group. And to be able to join all those elements, I always need to put an ampersand symbol between them because otherwise you cannot join them. Because if I do this, now looks nice and neat. However, if I forgot to put one of the ampersand symbol like this one, let's see that I forget it, you see that it will complain right away that is something odd there and it will fail, okay? And just to fix this, you can just go here and add ampersand. All right, with that, we achieved the first goal that it was putting these columns together, okay? As I just showed you before, this is going to be an exercise that instead of for you to do it all the time, you just do it here. And then when you click close, this new column, it will be just showing up here. So we'll be updating that. Okay. Now I got the new cells, and as you remember, we've been playing here in the territory table. So if I go here to a table view, I just go here, and I just select a table view from here from the build panel. I need to have this enabled, and I will put the territory, I will put the region, and I will put the cells territory. And as you can see, now it shows everything instead of part by part. I could achieve this as well doing this new measure, or actually instead of new measure, a new column. You can do this. This is something else. This is called DAX. I just go here next, and I will call cells territory in DAX equal concatenate. Concatenate X, because concatenate only allows me to put one text at a time, but here you can put more than one with concatenate X. I will do the table is cells territory, and the expression is, you see that here is asking me all the items I need to put. The expression is country in region, comma, and the delimiter I want to be comma, and then I close this, and I hope that it works. I haven't used that in the past, so I hope that works. Okay, yep, it does. Oh, this doesn't look nice. It's doing too many things, but you know what? I want to show you in the way how the good programmers we work nowadays. Just asking to ChatGPT or to the Copilot or the AI tool that you work, check this concatenate function that I would like to put these two columns together and separate them by comma and a space. To check this in DAX for Power BI. Okay, this is how we work nowadays. So it's not, we don't need to know everything. So we just need to know and understand what we want to achieve. And this is what is given to us. Okay, I just means to put this between. So that is what's the problem. So no problema. Now it's there. In here in DAX, you can also put those enter, and then you can do a better indentation. And now it keeps showing that just too much data there. What is the reason? Sales, it's because it's also showing all of that. I think that I'm overcomplicating. Concatenate region in sales territory and group. Okay. Okay, now it looks better. I just want to show you that DAX sometimes, even though that can help you to write it quite fast, something is not the most intuitive, because normally I don't do DAX calculation for these kind of things. The things that I use DAX is for counting. For example, count how number of regions. So I can do a distinct count from the column region. And this is the kind of things that we do in DAX. It's normally measures and calculations. And as you can see here, now you can see that we have 11 number of regions. Okay, the thing that I did, I just create a calculation. As you can see, these have a different icon because one of the thing is a measure and the other one is the column calculations. But measures needs to be happening here. However, new columns, I will recommend you to happen into Power Query, which you access just going here into Power Query. Okay, you just go here to transform data, and then it will open this tab. Okay, so we just merged two columns together. Now, what are the other things that we can do? Let's check this exercise, and I will make this slightly bigger. Filtering. Okay, let's say that I don't want to include German in this. So I just go here and I will say, nothing against Germany, just I will pick another region. So let's say Canada, okay? Or let's say Southwest, okay? So there you can see now that we don't have the 11 items, we just have 10. And this will filter every time that I Power BI refresh, it will don't consider Southwest. You see, this is how it create. And if you go here to Advanced Editor, here you will be able to see that it just add this new position. But if we would like to show you, change it to Canada, we just go here and then click Canada. And now it will change that to Canada. You see now Southwest is in, but no, it's not Canada. But you know what? I don't really like the coding stuff. So I just go delete that part and then go here and then unselect Canada. So either way, it will produce exactly the same result. But for you, it will depend how much you want to go in coding. And you know what? Even though that looks really complex, I just go here, copy, and I go to to ChatGPT, and I will say, could you organize better this M code, which is the kind of code using in Power Query, and add comments. Don't make any changes in the functionality. So there, I just put whatever that I have there, and it will organize really well the information, the M code, and that way you can understand it. So instead of to see a whole chunk and a long line, you can just put in exactly the same, but in a nice way. So you can hand it over quite easily. Here you can see now the step 1 connecting to my Excel sheet, which is in my folder, and then select this table and then select the region. And then here is the filter for Canada, and I'll click done. And nothing happened because it's just doing the same, but it's just represented in a more organized way. If you are not really into coding, I think this is a really good solution for you to understand what you are doing here. But I want you experiment with Power Query because this is the kind of tools that will help you to make your life easier. Okay. So I will close this up. Now you have your first Power Query up and running. And the time's been flying so far. And before to keep going with other type of exercises, I would like to see, I will stop sharing my screen. And I would like to hear if you have any comments, your microphones are enabled, or if you have any questions, even your cameras are enabled now. If you want to share any question, and if you think that this is meaningful so far, the mics are open for you. Okay. No worries, Cynthia. Thank you, Cindy. Thank you for letting me know. Does anyone has any comments or question? Okay, no worries. I will disable the mics again. And I will disable the cameras again, just in case. Okay. So now jumping into the last part of the presentation, I want you, shouldn't be showing that. I will be back to the spreadsheet. Yeah, here. So in here, the other thing that we could do here is filtering, removing data, changing data types, we did that. Merge queries, okay? This is more, probably the data that I have is not doing that well, but I will show you how to do it. If you have two tables that look exactly the same, I will do this. I will duplicate the cell territory, which is actually the same data as you can see. However, to make it slightly different, I will put this one, this is the number 2. And I will put it just next to each other. And here in this one, however, instead of to call it Southwest, I will call it Southeast. Okay. And as you remember, the merge, the thing that it does, it will combine them together, or append. In this case, I will perform an append, which means it will make this plus this. And you should know how many tables, how many rows will end up. So I just select those two, and then we go to transform, and it should be something where it say transpose, add column, view tools, home, merge queries, append queries. Okay, so I will append these queries, and the two tables, table to append, this one here, and territories. Yep. So I click OK, and now I have a new this table with, instead of to have 10 records, now I have 20. Okay, this is the way how you append. But for example, if we have the sales order and we have the sales, for example, here we have the product key. Let me see which one is easy to merge, just to show you as an example. Great, accessories, customer, postal code, country, city. Yeah, I think that probably sales order details, unit price, line total. Yeah, I think that this data is not the best to do a merge. A merge is basically join this table with these other tables based in a specific column. And this is how you perform the merge. But to do the merge, you just go here, merge, and then you select to which other table that you would like to choose to merge. But it needs to have exactly the same key. If it doesn't have the same one, it won't be able to perform the join. So this is why this data is not well prepared for that. But I just want to show you that this is possible. So once I have this website up and running, you will be able to go here and see all this data and together with the information. So be turned up. I will be putting this online together shortly. Okay. And to wrap it up, thank you very much, everyone, for joining this session. I hope that you enjoy it. I hope they have a great time learning a little bit more what is Power Query. I really appreciate your time to join this school, and Excel BI will help people and companies to do more with the data. If you're looking for any kind of help related with Power BI, feel free to reach out. My email is always open for you. You can go to excelinbi.com, and then you can sign up also for future events. Okay. And this is the cool part that I'm working on. It's not ready yet, but the idea on version of this that if you don't have a Power BI installed in your computer, you could go just here and play a little bit with your data. And this is what is work in progress. And once it's ready, I'm planning to share it with you for free, and then you will be able to play around and learn more, which is the goal for those kind of sessions. So thank you so much for your time spending today in this session. I hope that you enjoy it and have a wonderful day. But before I disconnect, as usual, I would like to open the mics for you. And if you have any questions, feel free to add it. Now is the time. Otherwise, you can flick me a message later. Okay. Thank you very much, everyone. I hope that you have a beautiful rest of the day, a beautiful rest of the night. Beautiful weekend. Enjoy your time. Have a